What's up, y'all? It's Deep Talk with T, episode 7. So, today's topic of discussion is, do you really want it? Now, what it is depends on you, depends on the moment, at any given moment, and your circumstances, your objectives. But your objective is it's what you want. And the question is meant to really guide you in your desires and your actions, because do you really want it? Again, we all have needs. At any given time, you are fulfilling multiple needs, and you have to ask yourself sometimes, when these needs demand more of you, when they demand not just a natural course of action or something that is fulfilled in the moment, but something that, especially like I touched on at the last video, something that takes more time to accomplish, and requires more of you, requires you to give more of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. The question really becomes relevant. Do you really want it? And it was a question that came up. I have a football background, for anybody who doesn't know me. And in sports, you have obviously periods of off season. And in football, our period of off season that becomes most intense is the summertime. Summer workouts get going hard. Training camp, two-a-days, all that stuff goes down. And you see a lot of people who claim to want to play football or be on the football team who don't show up to summer workouts, or who flake all the time. Or we used to have a thing. It used to be sort of a joking process at the beginning of every season, or the start of every summer. The older cats would just look and like bet and pick out who they thought was going to drop. People would drop like flies. A lot of people want to wear the jersey. Not everybody wants to put in the work. And it's the same thing across the board when it comes to not just an actual jersey, but like looking a certain way. People want to have a physique, but they don't really want to do the work. They don't want to pay attention to what they eat in such a way that it aligns with their goals. They don't want to exercise or be active in such a way that aligns with their goals. They don't want to, if it's a relationship, they don't want to commit to a woman or a man and doing the things that they would have to do to fulfill that person in the long run. It goes down to any level of your needs. You have to define, again, your circumstances, your wants, your obstacles, your ways of going about getting the things that you want and need, in spite of those things, whether or not you have to go through them, around them, over them, under them, whatever is the case. But this relates directly, again, to stakes and being real with yourself. You really have to question yourself. You have to question what it is. What is it that I want, or that I say I want? And listen to yourself. Really listen to yourself. Not what society tells you, not what you think you're supposed to do, not any voices you've internalized, but really getting down to the nitty gritty and being like, this is what I want. I'm willing to stand behind this. If it came down to it right now and I had to die for it, I would. That kind of thing is going to enliven you. It's going to awaken your senses. It is going to intensify your experience of life. You know how in cartoons or movies, when people almost like they have near-death experiences, they almost die, they get to touching their body and wondering, like making sure that they're still alive. Why don't we have intense experiences like this more often as humans? Because we don't make ourselves be present. We're not intensely fully present in the life that we're living. We can get lost in our thoughts and thinking about the future or the past or what happened or what might happen. Again, that's future and past. Being present right now, there's a now always. There's the now, and living fully in it is it's like being in a river that doesn't stop. It's a constant flow. The direction changes, the rapidity with which it moves changes, but you're in a constant state of flow. There's never an opportunity or a lack of opportunity for a state of flow. It's just on you to induce it. And when you are constantly tapping into what it is that you really want and giving yourself to it, that induces a state of flow. So again, asking yourself, do you really want it? If it's about a woman, do you really want that woman? Do you just want her physically? Or do you want her emotionally? Do you want her mentally? Do you want her short term or long term? And what are you willing to do to give that, to invest in that, to show that? It's the same thing as with football. If you really want it, you show up to summer workouts every day, whatever y'all schedules are, without question. And you show up when y'all not questioned, when it's scheduled. You show up early, or you stay late, or you do both. You show up to two-a-days and you give your all. And it's not just about a facade of something. The facade of anything is never going to be enough. Empty internals, they negate all externals. It does not matter what you have in your external world or life. If your internal is fucked up, if your internal is empty and not full, you have to fill your tank up. So again, food, water, shelter, the human hierarchy, we all need these things. So if it comes down to food and you say you want that steak, or you say you want to be vegan, or whatever is the case, do you really want it? And if so, how much do you want it? If it's with the vegan thing, are you willing to put down all meats and dairy products? If it aligns with some sort of physical goals that you say that you have, are you willing to eat in accordance with them? Not just for a day, not just for a week, not just until you accomplish your goal, but through whatever goals you have, through the maintenance process of them. Because once you accomplish a goal, then you've accomplished it, and then it's on to another one. Because there are no laurels to rest on. There is no stagnation in nature. Again, we touched on this. That is the way of death. Entropy and inertia and stagnation, that is the way of death. Flow, movement, that is the way of evolution. And that's in nature, and it's everywhere. That old saying about be careful what you wish for, you might just get it. Don't be in such a rush. Haste makes waste. We've all heard that. But don't be in such a rush to get to this and grab at that and grab at that. There is a sense of urgency that comes with testing these things out, that comes with searching for what you want and experimenting. Because it's not just a cut and dry process. It is a process, a flow of listening to yourself. Instincts, intuition, inspiration, just your gut, your experiences in life. What are they telling you? So, I love y'all, and I hope that everyone is really, again, listening to this stuff in a way that they're applying, that you really are doing the self-work on your life, your circumstances, and getting after it, yo. Raise the bar. Ask yourself you really want it. Memento mori. Remember your death or your mortality. And love y'all.